told about how you growled after every big play you make. When did you start doing that? And I mean, you don't have to give us an impression, but it'd be nice.
I wouldn't say more or less like maybe a growl, maybe like a yell, a grunt, maybe something like that. But it's not really like a growl. But yeah, just getting excited after plays. Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenge from going from the Big 12 to the SEC?
I mean, I would just say like the challenge really is just like probably adjusting to the different type of play styles that I'm getting, different type of schemes I'm facing as far as like the offensive scheme. Play some really good football in the Big 12 and some teams. So, and just, overall just from high school to now, just overall just seeing really good competition. So I don't feel like the competition level was overwhelming for me at all coming to this level, and just, having a father too that just helped me also along the way. So it wasn't overwhelming from that part, but more or less just getting used to the scheme.
Yeah, I knew you had the opportunity to go a lot of different places, took visits kind of all over the country. Why was it Missouri for you in the end?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of opportunities to take a lot of different visits, and, what really just stood out, one was, the running back coach, Coach Luke, had already knew him and his family, just him being close to my dad. And, once, they reached out and kind of just coming down here on the visit, everything just stuck out to, like, the scheme and what I was going to be able to accomplish coming here, and just the area and, what they already had built and going on. So, that really just was exciting for me.
What can you learn from a guy like Khalil Jacobs?
Yeah, you can learn a lot. He's already been in, the SEC. You can learn a lot, pick his brain about, different things, different schemes you may see, just anything I may not know and that I have questions about, because at the end of the day, I'm still trying to grow as a person and a player at the end of the day, and I can always find something to learn. And, with him and Tristan Newsome, older guys who are in that room and, played in SEC, there's a lot of questions I can, ask them and learn.
We've heard a lot about Nick Rodriguez. What have you seen from him, a younger guy?
Yeah, it's cool because, cool story about Nick. I actually hosted him when I was at West Virginia, and I was trying to get him to West Virginia. It's crazy now I'm here. So it's great having all these guys in the room, Khalil Jacobs, Tristan Newsome, Nick Rodriguez, and as a young guy, him just, he flies around, has great instincts and just real playmaker attributes for him. And, I just love, just being around him and all the guys in the room. But, yeah, he's a great player.
You went up against Bo Pribula last year in a game. Have you guys talked about that matchup since then? Did you know him at the time? What are your thoughts on Bo Pribula?
Yeah, I knew him at the time because we actually played each other in high school in the state championship game. We had beat him. So we had already, knew each other. And then, we talked about the game probably the first time we got together. Some of us transfers, we had went to, Bud's, got, something to eat, and we were just all talking and stuff. And we were just talking about the game. We lost that game. But, yeah, I was kind of just, talking about the game, asking him different stuff, But, yeah, it was good to kind of just talk to him, catch up.
Any banner from that tackle for loss you had on him?
A little bit, not really. I didn't really bring it up too much, give him too much trouble for it, but nah.
You mentioned your dad a couple times with him and your brother. Is that bloodline, that family tradition, is that a blessing? Is that pressure? How do you look at that?
Yeah, it's just a blessing not only to have my father, but my brother too, someone who I can, ask different questions to and continue to help me along the way. And, what they say, pressure is privilege. And, I just take it on like I have since I was younger and just continue to just stay true to myself and, play my game, just keep God first and knowing that everything in my career and path is already written.
Considering the family history, was there ever any chance you were going to play something besides a linebacker?
No. I think we were bred and pretty much born to play linebacker at this point. From a mentality and a physical standpoint, we were bred and made to not only play this game but to play linebacker.
With Jeremiah Beasley, just what have you made of him so far?
Yeah, really cool dude, man. Especially another guy in that room, but also a great player too as well. Also add something different to that room. He's one of the main guys in that room. You can ask questions about already being in this division, about different things you may see or expect, whatever the case may be.
It's still early in fall camp, but what are some character traits that you see developing with this defense in terms of what you guys want this identity to be?
Oh yeah, one, overall effort. That's the biggest thing as a defense. Someone's at some point is going to make a mistake or whatever the case may be, but if you have effort overall with all 11 guys, that's going to erase a lot of those mistakes. And second, just physicality, starting with, the linebacker room, but overall, you play with effort and physicality, that's going to not only erase so many mistakes, but that's the attributes for a great defense.
Curious who jumped out to you in the first scrimmage yesterday.
Say it again.
Curious who jumped out to you maybe in the first scrimmage the other day.
Yeah, I would say some of the guys in the back end, they really jumped out. Like Caleb Flagg, he had 2 turnovers. Jackson Hancock, he's been having a great past couple of days too, having some turnovers. Some young guys, popped out. Even some guys in the LB room, really popped out as young guys. But yeah, it's a lot of those guys in the back end room.
Josiah, with just your journey personally, when did you realize that you would have the talent to play football at this level?
I would say kind of just going through high school. Really, when I was younger, I was just playing the game because I just loved it, and then just just played it because I loved it at a certain point. And then once you got to high school and everything, just realizing I could really go play at a college level and past that. When you really start looking at it. But I would say once I kind of got to high school and kind of just realizing.
What's your relationship with Coach Nicholson been like since you got here, and what's his influence like in the room?
Oh, it's been great. Ever since he got here, really got a close relationship with him, especially with him already being a player and then, having that experience. He played in the NFL, but, really, players coach, great to talk to him. And he's just helped me elevate my game so much as well. And just kind of just see things from a different perspective and then asking me different questions. But, my relationship with him has been great, just helping me on and off the field, not even just as a player, but as a man of God.
Can we expect to see the Axeman at some point this season?
Yeah, it's definitely come out this season, throughout the season.
Time for one more. If anybody's got it.
What are you looking forward to improving the most in your game heading into this year specifically from a traits aspect?
Yeah, I want to be able to just add more stuff to my, my tape and my resume, just as a blitzer as well, and then also just be able to also improve and put on tape and the consistency part of, just my zone coverage as well, just, consistency part of that, and just also just consistency overall in my game. I just feel like, I just add that to my tape and my resume and continue to just be consistent. I just feel like that's something I just want to continue to add to my game.
Thanks, Josiah.
Thank you.
Thank you.